Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Renegade Real Estate TV. I'm your host, Nick Carazza, but we should all know that by now. We've got to start off with something a little bit special today. This little figurine here has been causing some mystery. Our little figurine, our little bobblehead. So I'm going to give you a close-up so we can get some more guesses as to who it is. I hope you can see that a little bit better. Maybe that'll do something. The latest guess for this guy was Philip Seymour Hoffman. And and one of our Income for Life members guessed that it was that. He's an awesome guy. So that close-up was for him. That's my way of trying to help him figure out who it is. I got to tell you, it's probably not the easiest thing. I know some people know who it is because I've mentioned it to them. So for anyone that responds that I've already told who it is, you're cheating. That doesn't count. For anyone else, we'll figure something out to make it fun. But today, something else really interesting happened. And we got an email from someone that's one of our newsletter subscribers, and we'll just go by first name. His name's Marty. And Marty's actually a really good guy. I like Marty. And, Marty thinks he's a little bit of a pain in the butt, right? And you'll probably watch this, Marty, so I think you might think that. But you know what? We like you. You're an awesome guy. And I appreciate you sending this in and, and offering us the opportunity to share your story. So what happened with Marty, the reason I have my computer open is I got to refer back to this very long email. But Marty was looking for another investment property. He's from Guelph, which is kind of northwest of Toronto, and it's a university town. There's a good university there at the University of Guelph, and he was looking for another property to rent to students. He has one. He's on his way to doing another one, which is awesome stuff. And so here's a little part of his email. So he said he's looking for a 3-bedroom bungalow, 200 to 220 price range, and they've looked at about 20 homes in the last month. Okay. Their plan is to do some renovations, add a legal apartment in the basement to increase cash flow, increase the numbers, make better return on investment. Good plan. Not many people can argue with that. They found one house, and it was listed for $229, and it was a small little bungalow, and it's been on the market for 120 days with no offers. So they went in at an admitted lowball offer at $205, which is great. I mean, you're an investor. Why not take a shot and see what happens, right? So that makes perfect sense. And then they were shocked that the guy refused and didn't want to budge on price, even though it was listed at that price and no action on it for 120 days. So pretty interesting stuff. Then they went looking at more homes, and they found one priced at $228. So they went in and offered $213,000, okay, and then the seller countered with $226. So they came down $2,000 from their original offer, their original listing price of $228, right? Okay. And then, so they shortened their closing date to make it a little bit more appealing, right? If there's less carrying costs and things like that, sometimes for the seller that's more appealing. And they went back and offered $218,000. So at this point, they're only $8,000 apart. Now the seller didn't want anything to do with them. They still said, our bottom line is $226. So they left it at that. Marty, and his wife were not interested in moving any longer, so they said, we're not going to write back. That's it. It's done. And then all of a sudden, the seller's agent called back and said, hold on, maybe we want to reconsider. Can we work something out? And it's ongoing now. So Marty's kind of happy because, he's managed to kind of crack them a little bit, maybe call their bluff, whatever the case may be. So it's awesome stuff. Now, but it brings up a good point, and it doesn't specifically just apply to this situation. I don't even know if this is the right situation to apply it to, but it got me thinking about something that so many times that we overlook. And what happens is sometimes we get so caught up in negotiations with trying to get the price that we want, or refusing to budge over a certain price. Like, I'm only going to pay $220 for this house. I'll never pay $222 for this house. Forget it. That's overpriced, and I don't want anything to do with it, right? Which is like a total valid point. We never want to overpay for homes. Like, it doesn't make sense. As an investor, why? We don't want to overpay for homes. And if we're, if some people are looking to fix up and flip the property, that $2-3 grand, that can be a large chunk of the profit, right? So we definitely, in different situations, what I'm about to say may make even less sense. But in some situations, it makes a lot of sense. And the situations that I'm talking about is when you're looking at holding a property for a long period of time. If you're in an active market like we're in, and you're looking to acquire real estate that's going to pay for itself and produce positive cash flow for yourself, sometimes like a $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 real discrepancy on price, it's really not that much when you think about it, because that $5,000, let's say, is you only pay a portion of that. So even if you put 10% down, if you're putting 10% down on a property and you pay an extra $5,000 for it than you originally wanted to, ultimately that's only $500 out of your pocket. It's not really a huge amount of money, right? And then the extra amount of money that's going to cost to carry that property is probably pretty minimal. Like $5,000 amortized over 35 years, I mean, I'm not sure, but it's probably going to be $30 or $40. I actually meant to do the calculation before I did this video, but unfortunately I forgot to, so I don't have the exact number. But it's going to be a relatively small number, okay? Even if it is as high as $30 or $40. And especially with the way today's interest rates are, you can lock in some great terms. But so now you have to see, so if someone like Marty, and again, this doesn't exactly apply to Marty's situation, you know, in a small sense it does. So Marty, I'm not picking on you by any means, I just brought this up. You know, you're $8,000 apart, and if you feel the house was already overpriced to begin with and stuff, then it's a, you know, it's a whole different world. But sometimes, you know, sometimes you get stuck in looking at the small picture. So you're focusing on pennies when the dollars really lie behind the fact. So, you know, I've gone into properties and I've offered just over asking price because I just want the property. Because I know that I can make money on this property, you know, using a variety of different methods. So I want the property because I don't want to go look at another 20 properties, because I put value in having to go out and drive around and look at 20 more properties. It's not fun having to search out properties all the time. I mean, it's not a glorious task, right? Most people, it's not the most exciting thing. Sometimes you take a clipboard, you have to write down notes, you know, it's a long day. So if I'm only a few $1,000s apart, sometimes I'll pay a little bit more than I want to pay for the house because I want to get on with it. I want to get on with the investment. I want to get on with making money. So, you know, if it's $1,000, $2,000, I'm always willing to negotiate. So again, Marty, I'm not picking on you. It was a great story, and for everyone that's viewing this, I'm actually going to take Marty's story and I'll put it below this video so you can take a look at it. And let me know what you think. You know what? Let me know what you think about what I do. I mean, maybe the way I look at things is totally wrong. I just don't want to spend days and days continuing to go look at properties, right? So I kind of like to snap one up if I'm able to, still within my terms that I feel comfortable with. Sometimes it's a little bit higher price than initially I wanted to. So if you think I'm like out to lunch, let me know. If you think there's some value in that, let me know. If you don't think anything, let me know. And until then, that's the way, you know, we decide to do things for the time being, and it allows us to live our rockstar life. So until next time, live yours, your life, your terms.